Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down while it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We've got some ideas. A speculator, we're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's doing
really?
This. Oh.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse. Who hasn't?
It began with a smug grin, but ended in complete ruin. Somewhere in the chaos, Gavin Newsom forgot which camera to panic into. And yes, everyone noticed. Joe Rogan stormed in like a wrecking ball, tossing facts like steel weights. Then Greg Gutfeld jumped right behind him, dropping punchlines sharper than California's tax hikes. What followed wasn't just a takedown, it was a slow-motion explosion that wiped everything clean. Not even Newsom's cement-thick hair gel could survive the blast. Grab your popcorn because this wasn't just a clash, it was a total on-air meltdown.
Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a fucking con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and that's a human being. With Newsom, you got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President Trump.
Cut to Gavin Newsom. The camera zooms in like his hairline's about to negotiate peace with a bottle of luxury conditioner. He's locked at the podium, glowing with that trademark confidence of a man who believes the earth spins just to hear him speak. And then, bam, the voiceover crashes down like thunder wrapped in sarcasm. Because once Rogan and Gutfeld aimed their sights at California's Sparkle Prince, it stopped being a discussion. It became a televised demolition derby in $1,000 suits. Not a debate, but a polished wrecking ball smashing straight through Newsom's glossy political mask.
But
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes. Was
it because of Israel? Yes. Interest rates? Yes. Too woke? Yes. It's like every bad policy that trickled up to the White House during the Biden administration started in California. That state is responsible for the worst politicians in modern history. And he is at the top of the list, and there are some ignoramuses on that list.
Let's talk about Gavin. The man struts into every room like it's a runway show called Big Government, the fashion line. He's mastered the politician's holy trinity, that toothpaste commercial smile, those rehearsed TED Talk phrases, and a leadership style that freezes faster than a buffering video. He's the golden boy of progressive politics, dripping with charm, tossing out climate slogans, and probably carrying a wallet made of recycled trophies. But strip away that polished shine and what's left? Nothing but glitter, ego, and a whole lot more performance than progress.
Their houses have been burned, all their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground. And this guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plans.
Watch this.
And don't even start on his climate sermons. Gavin's got enough eco-promises to fill an entire Whole Foods aisle, yet California's power grid collapses at the first hint of a breeze. Go electric, they shout, then warn everyone not to charge their cars between 4 and 9 p.m. because the sun clocked out early. Peak irony, banning gas stoves while half the state cooks dinner by flashlight. This isn't policy, it's climate theater, a tragic comedy where everyone's stumbling through the dark pretending it's progress.
And he's the guy who thinks he's going to run for president when, so much of the state is absolutely unlivable. And so every project that he's championed, he's now trying to demonize conveniently. And people are not that dumb. Like, people have been through it in his state. They are sick of him. They want him to leave. And maybe that's why so many people around him are like, you should totally run for president. So he gets out of the state.
Yes. Move away. Tyrus, did he leave out anything?
He didn't just leave California. He escaped, like a man spotting a glitch in the Matrix and sprinting for the emergency exit. And honestly, who could blame him? When your state starts looking more like a post-apocalyptic video game than a paradise, even a sauna-loving elk hunting podcast king has to call it quits. Rogan hit the gas, sped down Interstate 10, and never looked back. He traded smog for Texas skies and scripts for freedom, like a UFC champ ditching kale for steak. And he didn't slip away quietly. He brought the loudest mic on earth. The Joe Rogan Experience. This isn't just a podcast, it's a powerhouse with over 100 million listeners and an algorithm that gives CNN nightmares. Rogan's secret weapon: no filters, just fire. And nothing lit that fuse faster than Newsom's lockdown logic. While Gavin sipped fine wine like it was the end of the world, Rogan called out the hypocrisy so hard the French Laundry almost shut down from embarrassment.
Down in Hawaii, you had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to John. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush.
And Rogan didn't come alone. He rolled in with an army doctors, economists, comedians with degrees in sarcasm, all united to paint one jaw-dropping picture. California's rules made less sense than a TikTok finance guru using cartoon filters. Small businesses were crushed while mega corporations waltzed through the chaos like they owned it. Health orders felt like they were written by a magic 8-ball. Random, confusing, and perfectly inconvenient. And through it all, there was Gavin, flashing that blinding white grin, convinced a little hair gel could fix broken trust. Then came the great tech exodus, the modern Oregon Trail, but this time it was Teslas instead of wagons. Rogan didn't just preach, he packed up and left, hauling his studio to Austin, where blackouts weren't part of the daily routine. California had turned hostile to innovation and allergic to freedom, and Rogan's strongest argument wasn't a chart or quote, it was his own life.
So, while Californians have lost their homes and they're still suffering from the devastation, what does Gavin Newsom decide to do? Well, now is apparently the perfect time to try and boost his popularity and essentially promote himself. He's launched a podcast. I'll play you the trailer in just a moment, but take notice. Does the trailer that he shared with the world on X, does it even mention the most horrific fire catastrophe that occurred under his leadership, partly as a result of the decisions he was making, like cutting fire prevention? No, this is his chance to talk about his image, insisting that he's no ordinary politician.
He didn't need to yell, didn't need theatrics. He just grabbed the mic and said what everyone was already thinking. This isn't working. And boom, Greg Gutfeld bursts in like a raccoon on a mission with a PhD in mockery. He doesn't shout, he slices. Each word a smirk, each line a jab sharp enough to curdle almond milk. Gutfeld is a 5-star takedown served cold. Slick hair, ruthless timing, and precision that stings. He looked at Gavin's perfectly polished glow and said what millions whispered. The man looks like a cologne ad, but governs like he's blindfolded in Sim City. Then he pulled back the curtain. Behind the Vanity Fair grin were tent cities, boarded shops, and juice bars clinging to life. Dystopia with a yoga mat, and Gavin still smiling like he solved homelessness with scented candles and self-help quotes.
About anything? I think there's about 100 other reasons too.
Well, you can't, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morse code.
Yes.
Go back and watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink, look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending, I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
But Gutfeld didn't stop at the shine. He went for the jugular, his real target. The media's ridiculous crush on Gavin. Legacy outlets treat him like JFK reincarnated, only with better teeth and a tote bag. But behind the glow is chaos wrapped in a spray tan. Gutfeld's monologues weren't just funny. They hit like artillery. He shredded the headlines praising Gavin's bold leadership while regular people were drowning in gas bills, insane rent, and grocery panic. Families could barely afford milk, yet magazines gushed about his visionary aura. Then came the climate comedy. Gutfeld unleashed like a caffeine-fueled truth sniper, blasting through buzzwords like carbon equity and solar dreams. It all sounds noble until you ask, who's paying for it? While everyday folks suffer through blackouts, bureaucrats cruise in hybrids like they're starring in sci-fi fantasies. Charging stations? Mostly imaginary. Gutfeld didn't just expose it, he ripped it apart. This wasn't saving the planet, it was staging an Instagram photo op.
When Gavin Newsom talks about California, he's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. It's too expensive. Believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective. And that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President Trump.
Then came the knockout blow. Gavin's White House fantasy. Whispers of 2028 swirl around him like incense at a yoga retreat, but Gutfeld isn't buying a second of it. He roasted the idea that a man who can't manage one state could somehow handle an entire country. He's running all right, Gutfeld snapped, but it's from accountability, not for president. The jokes practically wrote themselves. Newsom's White House dream, like franchising a restaurant that just failed 3 health inspections. The sign's shiny, but the kitchen's disgusting. The freezer's busted, and the Yelp reviews? Flaming disasters. Literally, Gutfeld didn't just joke. He detonated the illusion. Every punchline came wrapped in truth so brutal, even Gavin's PR team couldn't spin it. And then came the tag team moment no one saw coming. Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld joined forces like twin wrecking balls, obliterating the myth of Gavin Newsom. Rogan brought the facts, Gutfeld brought the fire, and together they proved Newsom's leadership doesn't just miss, it deletes the entire target.
Runs for national office, he acts like a Republican. This is where the left is really pro-trans. Suddenly, they grow balls.
He didn't yell, didn't flail, didn't throw a fit. Rogan just spoke with that calm, unshakable tone that hits harder than a scream. People are leaving, businesses are fleeing, homelessness is exploding. I moved for a reason. That voice landed like a velvet-wrapped sledgehammer. Rogan wasn't trying to entertain, and that's exactly why it cut so deep. Then Gutfeld stormed in, same precision, different energy. Where Rogan dissected with logic, Gutfeld roasted with flair. He read the government's script like a stand-up comic forced to perform the world's worst play. Every line dripping with disbelief. Rogan reached the thinkers, the ones craving receipts, proof, and reality. Gutfeld grabbed the skeptics, the audience that stopped believing mainstream news when slogans replaced sense. Rogan's fans shared charts and clips. Gutfeld's fans just pointed at the flaming chaos and said, there it is.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has been facing major calls to resign over his appalling handling of the deadly California wildfires. And just to quickly recap, these were the most destructive wildfires the state has ever seen. More than 16,000 properties were destroyed. The cost of the fires is estimated to be more than $200 billion. And for businesses in LA County, the future is looking grim. It's projected businesses will continue to lose billions of dollars over the next 5 years due to destruction.
But no matter their approach, Rogan with icy precision or Gutfeld with blazing sarcasm, they struck the same brutal truth. Gavin Newsom isn't leading, he's performing. And the reviews, 2 giant thumbs down. This isn't just failure, it's failure dipped in glitter. He's like a movie trailer promising a masterpiece but delivering 90 minutes of confusion, slow motion speeches, and hollow slogans. Rogan and Gutfeld weren't fooled for a second. They came from opposite ends, but saw the same illusion and tore through it like pros. Gavin's the walking, talking symbol of all style and zero substance. Endless speeches, no results. And when those two ripped off his glossy mask, it stopped being commentary. It became a full-blown political intervention. One used a wrench, the other a chainsaw, and what they uncovered had people across every side nodding in stunned disbelief.
You know, when I went there, I had a great relationship with President Xi. We got along very well. And they treated me better than anybody's ever been treated. And I said, this air is good. Do you know they closed every factory 1 week before I got there from within 200 miles?
That's like what Gavin Newsom did when Xi Jinping came to San Francisco.
He cleaned it up.
He cleaned it up. He got rid of all
Isn't
the
that
homeless
terrible
people.
in a way to think, you know, he cleaned it up and then it became a pigsty.
Well, the dumbest thing is he said when your friends come by, when you have visitors, you clean up your house. Like, how about just keep your fucking house clean?
Can you imagine?
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I keep bringing up Gavin. Well, other than my respect for his work in American Psycho, he's starting to distance himself from his party's worst ideas. Newsom, a guy who hates fossil fuels but could still bring down the price of gas by wringing out his hair, once proclaimed that his state would be a sanctuary to all who seek it.
And suddenly, everything clicked across the spectrum. Libertarians, conservatives, burnt-out millennials, disillusioned hipsters, even that barista who swore off politics after the last election. All nodding in agreement. Different walks of life, same reaction. They realized maybe the real disaster wasn't just failed leadership. It was the endless theater itself. And just when it couldn't get any wilder, boom, the final montage hit like a cinematic knockout. By then, it wasn't about who won, but what got exposed. Gavin Newsom didn't just take criticism, he got decoded. The curtain dropped, and all that was left were filters, flash, and fake solutions. Rogan might drop a full episode titled California Collapse Volume 2. Gutfeld could spin it into a viral skit. Gavin's Glamour Tour Homelessness Edition. And Gavin, will he rethink or reflect? Of course not. He'll probably post a wind turbine selfie with a caption like leading with vision, because for him it's never been about change, it's all about the performance.